Welcome to the very first, I believe we're live now. Welcome to the very first live Captain Fizz and Mask Guy podcast. I am Captain Fizz.
And I am that Mask Guy.
Who apparently has been demasked.
What?
What
are you talking about?
I have demasked you.
No. I'm just wearing a different mask.
It's an uglier mask.
How dare you, sir?
Oh, I dare.
Are you sure we're live?
I think we're live.
You think we're live?
Can everybody hear us?
1, 2, 3. Can anybody hear me?
I don't know if anyone's actually in here.
Oh, well.
It says we feel lonely.
Oh.
We're all so lonely.
I'm Mr. Lonely. I don't got nobody to call my own.
Yeah, we're screwed. So once again, welcome.
He wouldn't let me sing the theme song this week.
Sing it then.
No, the moment has passed.
Screw you in your moment.
Oh, fine. From the seventh moon of thunder, we'll bring you lots of wonder. The Captain Fizz and Mask Guy Show. The Captain Fizz and Mask Guy Show.
Once again, you continue to give me chills. Not the good chills.
I was actually going to do the
fever chills.
I was actually going to try to do the itchy and scratchy version of it, but it didn't work.
That's because we are not itchy, nor are we scratchy.
Speak for yourself. That cat of yours is giving me hives.
She is not in my studio.
Yeah, but her fur is.
Well, you know what? That fur came first.
Touché. So,
we're lonely.
I don't know what to do.
Oh no, I think I'm hitting buttons. Okay.
Anyway.
So, Sony. We're going to go with Sony.
We're going to go Sony first?
Why not?
Okay.
So, Sony, for some odd, strange, possibly confusing reason, has sent out their very long list of their movies for the next couple of years. Which I don't think Sony has ever done.
I don't know if they've done it. It seems kind of like a ballsy thing to go off and to do.
Yeah, definitely ballsy considering when you look at some of them. They're very questionable movies on whether or not they're actually going to happen.
And I think I might have actually sent you the link for this list.
Yeah, you didn't read it.
I read it, but apparently I didn't read it thoroughly. I do know that there's been a couple of movies that have been pushed forward and some that have been pushed back. I was actually at my other job, and I didn't have a lot of time to go off and review it. And when I say my other job, I actually mean my job because this isn't a job. This is absolute fun.
Yes, this isn't a job. This is excitement and energetic.
Although, I mean, considering the amount of hype that I have put into the show
in the last 5 minutes,
in the last, last 2 months.
That's true. That's true.
But anyways, I digress. I am not bitter. I am happy.
Apparently, I've been failing the hype.
Yes, you have.
Well, you know what? That's good.
Alrighty then. Let's get back to the list.
Let's get back to the list. Yes. So, we're going to start with the very first one. Now, once again, I cannot give you a whole bunch of details because Sony, although they released the list, didn't exactly say what that list entitles. So, we know names. And that's about it.
Pretty much.
Which is pretty much as far as Sony knows. So, the very first one is The Fifth Wave. It comes out January 15th, 2016. Keep in mind, these are all, 2016, 17, 18, and 19. March 4th, 2016 is Grimsby. And then you got the very next month on, I can't read my own writing. Oh, it's on the 8th. Is Money Monster. Apparently I can't read my own writing. Shut up.
I didn't say anything. You didn't give me a chance to.
It's because I'm talking too fast. you play games. I know your wife has probably played this game before. The Angry Birds movie.
Yeah, that seems like the most lame duck excuse for a video game to movie that I've ever heard of.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense how that could potentially even possibly work.
Although they did have, like, an Angry Birds cartoon, but that was, like, each episode was, like, 8 minutes long or
so we're going to have a movie that's exactly 16 minutes. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. So that comes out 5th month, 20th day, 2016. I suck with dates. So I'm just going to stop saying dates.
Yeah, don't even bother.
Okay.
Just go off and list off the movies.
Screw that. So the next one is The Shallows. Doesn't even have a list of the director, actors, or nothing, so it's a little concerning on that one. The next one, which is really concerning to me, is the Ghostbuster movie with an all-female cast. Once again, I will watch it, but I will not enjoy it.
Just as much as something else that we're going to discuss later on.
Yes.
Yes.
That which will not be named.
Until later.
Until later. Really? You're going to ruin my fun.
Yes, I will.
Okay. So, the next movie, I'm not even going to attempt to describe the movie. I'm going to say the name, and everybody's imagination is going to go right there. Sausage Party. Sounds like a really bad name for a 1980s porn movie. And you can't get any worse than Sausage Party. Unless, of course, it's a bunch of people in a house having a party selling sausages. Which is another term for hookers. Wait, male hookers. Oh, I won't be watching this.
I have nothing to say to this.
This is kind of priceless. And... hi, everybody.
Hey, is there actually people listening to us now?
No.
Aw.
Patient Zero, which is another zombie movie. But apparently there's also potential possibility, maybe, kinda, sorta, turning this into a TV show. Okay, that was a lot of words.
That was a lot of words, and I just wish we had caught it on camera.
Yeah, because I did the whole hand gesture and everything.
Yes.
The Magnificent Seven.
This actually intrigues me. No.
Which is weird because not a lot intrigues you.
Everything intrigues me. Oh, you're
bull crap.
Okay, other than that movie that we will talk about later, there's a lot of things that go off and intrigue me.
That movie.
But, I mean, of course, the original Magnificent Seven was actually a samurai flick in Japan. It then became...
Samurai Pizza Cats?
Samurai Pizza Cats. But then it became a movie, I think it was in like the 60s or 70s with starring Steve McQueen, which was a Western, and I guess they're remaking it. I don't know if it's... I guess it's going to be as another Western, although I think the whole samurai thing would have been more interesting. I
don't know. It's the years of the remake. They remake everything because that makes sense.
Reboot.
But they haven't rebooted Reboot.
And that's probably just as well, because a reboot of a reboot...
No. Reboot of Reboot.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. And honestly, if there's nothing... If a reboot is pretty bad, then a reboot of Reboot would be terrible.
It would be a rebooted reboot.
Yeah, I just want to boot it.
Inferno... Underworld 5, which we have waited a while for this, so the hype has been there and left.
You know what? I don't think... I've only seen the Underworld prequel about the story about the Lycans and the first Underworld. I haven't actually seen the other...
All were really good. So okay. I'm excited for this one, but also not excited. Billy Lynn's long halftime walk, which I can only assume is describing how the Dallas Cowboys feel after every football game during halftime when they realize there's actually a football game playing. Yes, I insult the Dallas Cowboys. Go Lions! Passengers. The movie which should not be remade, cannot be remade and will offend a lot of people if it's remade, which apparently it is, but Jumanji.
And see, here's the thing. We discussed this before we came on live, and the discussion...
I ignored your opinions.
Of course, you always ignore my opinions.
That's because your opinions are opinionated.
Damn right. I'm just as opinionated as you are. Maybe even more so.
Oh,
no,
really now?
No, I take that one back. There's no way I can be more opinionated than you.
Captain Fizz for the win.
Yeah, I'll accept that. But, I mean, here's the thing. The way that, this goes, it could be a completely different story about Jumanji, a whole different game featuring a whole new cast of characters, because we know that, at the beginning of the original movie, a couple kids buried the game box for Jumanji, for Robin Williams' younger self to find. And then at the end of it, they go off and they ship it off to sea, and a couple little girls somewhere in the Middle East go off and find it. So, I mean, it's quite possible that they could go off and completely remake this movie with just a different, completely different cast, have nothing to do with the first movie.
I still take offense to that.
Of course you would.
And Robin Williams is rolling around in his ground grave. There we go.
He's got better things to do.
That is true. The one movie that is concerning to me, and not because the movie itself, but because of the history involved in this specific person's movie. Stephen King's The Dark Tower. Anyone out there who obviously you've heard of Stephen King. If you haven't, please crawl out of your rock and join the real world. They were going to be remaking it. They continuously had director problems that fell through, actor problems and all that. So they scrapped it, they brought it back, they scrapped it, they brought it back. And unfortunately, The Dark Tower has been going the same route. I don't have a name, but they did recently just hire a producer or director or whatever you want to call them now. But
usually they're not one and the same.
Stephen King obviously doesn't matter who they hire anymore. Stephen King has complete say. He refuses to let anyone else touch his movies unless he's actually present, which I don't blame him after the debacle of some of his other movies that he had no say in.
Like the sequel to Pet Sematary?
Which never should have happened, or the continuous remake of Carrie. Please, if you have any say in that, don't remake it anymore.
It's kind of like doing a remake of Psycho.
Oh, God. The first one was good, then you go stupid and make a second one, and then you remake it, only to make it even worse, which was inhumanely impossible. But they somehow managed to do the impossible.
Yes.
So, I'm excited for that. Slightly concerned, slightly worried, but still optimistic.
Well, you know what? I read a couple of the graphic novels based off the book.
Very graphic.
Very graphic. And I read, I believe it was the equivalent of the first, 4 or 5 chapters. And I thought it was really good. I would have loved to have continued, but I wasn't able at that time to get my hands on it, and I end up reading other stuff. So the basis for this seems very intriguing to me. I'd love to see, how it comes to be in a movie. But you know what? I mean, considering how badly, some of Stephen King's past projects have turned in, not because of him. I'm not blaming this on Stephen King. I'm blaming this on people who go off and, think, hey, let's just take a Stephen King story and we'll just do whatever we want to it and people will come see it.
Yeah, which is true until they actually see the debacle of it. Now, Stephen King is like the Stan Lee of horror. He has made it a cameo in almost every single movie. With the exception of a few of the debacles. But they don't count.
Especially to Stephen King.
Especially to Stephen King. Stephen King has openly shamed